Hello and welcome to Mr. Connally's High School Math. Today we'll be solving linear systems by graphing. Before we go any further though, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell to get notifications about future videos. Guidelines for using this video effectively are: watch and listen to the video. Sound should be on. Do not skip ahead. Do not just mindlessly copy the work. Pause the video when you need time to write or think. Put a question mark next to the problems you don't understand. And rewatch and listen to the video when needed. And ask questions in class or in the comments below. All right, our key concept for today: how do you graph a solution to a system of linear equations? Okay, first we want to graph both lines, and then we're looking for the point of intersection. That's going to be our point where both the x and the y value make both equations true. Okay, so here's our first line: y equals x plus 3. And then our next line is y equals negative 4/3 x minus 2. And you see where they intersect is at negative 1, 1. That means the answer to that, or the solution to that system, is x equals negative 1 and y equals 1. It'll work in both equations. If you substitute both those numbers into the equations, they'll both be true. Okay, now same thing with vertical lines. And horizontal lines, we've got y equals negative 2 and x equals 5, and the solution in that one is, not surprisingly, where x equals 5 and y equals negative 2. That is the only point that satisfies both of those equations. Okay, also, there can be one solution, no solution, or infinitely many solutions. Let's look at those situations. Graphing one solution. All right, so we want to graph the solution to the system 3x minus 2y equals negative 2 and y equals negative x plus 6. Now, how do we graph this? Well, first we'll just graph each line. So I've got 3x minus 2y equals negative 2. I'm going to have to turn this into slope-intercept form since it's in standard form. So we've got this cancels out. We've got negative 2y equals negative 3x minus 2. I can't combine negative 3x and negative 2 because they're not like terms. All right, now I just need to divide both sides by negative 2, and I get y equals 3/2 x plus 1. All right, so that means that my slope is going to be 3/2, and my y-intercept is going to equal 1. All right, so I'll go ahead and graph that. We start at y equals 1 right here, and the slope is going to be up 3 and over 2. 1, 2, 3. And then over 2 to the right. Okay, now I can draw my straight line through there with my straight edge. And now I've got y equals negative x plus 6. This is easier because we know the slope is going to be negative 1. So that means we're going to go down 1 and right 1. And then our y-intercept is going to be 6. So I'm going to go up to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's way up here, and then I'm going to go down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1. And already I can tell that they're going to intersect right here, and that point is going to be 2 over, so it's going to be 2 for x, and 1, 2, 3, 4 up. So my solution is going to be where x equals 2 and y equals 4. All right, let's test to make sure that that's true. So I'm going to go ahead and substitute these numbers in here for y equals negative x plus 6. So I'll say 4 is for y, and negative x becomes negative 2. And are those two equal? That's our test. So we'll say 4 equals, let's simplify the right, negative 2 plus 6. If I take 2 steps backwards and then 6 forward, I'm going to land on 4. So that is true. All right, so far it works on the red equation. Now let's look at the green equation. Let's substitute 3x, so 3 times 2, this becomes. And so that's going to be 6 minus 2 times 4. So that'll be 8. Does this equal negative 2? And 6 minus 8 is negative 2. So that checks out, and this is true. So that means our final solution is x equals 2 and y equals 4. All right, finish that up. You ready to move on? Let's look at another situation. What if there's no solution? What does that look like? Well, we've got our graphs right here of these lines, y equals 2x plus 1 and 6x minus 3y equals 9. The first one we'll go ahead and graph the same way we did before. So the slope is 2, the y-intercept is 1. So I'll go to where y equals 1 right here, and now I'll go up 2. And remember, this is 2 over 1, so it's up 2 and right 1 and right 1. And there's our first line right there. And now the next one, again, we've got standard form. At least one of them was in slope-intercept form for us. So we've got negative 3y. Subtract negative 6 from both sides. We get negative 3y on the left and negative 6x plus 9. Remember, we don't subtract the 9 and the negative 6x because they're not like terms. Okay, now let's divide by negative 3 to both sides. And we get y equals 2x. And then 9 divided by negative 3 is negative 3. Okay, so 2x minus 3. So the slope is going to be 2. The y-intercept is going to be negative 3. And now we go down 1, 2, 3. And now the same thing. We're going to go up 2 and over 1. Wait a minute. We've already done this, haven't we? We did. They have the same slope. What happens when two lines have the same slope? Yeah, they're parallel. So these are going to be parallel lines. Okay, so remember, we're looking for a solution or an x and y value that's the same for both of these lines. Do these lines ever touch? No, they have no intersection, so that means there's going to be no solution. Okay, so whenever you have parallel lines like this in your system, they're not going to touch, so they're not going to have an opportunity where the x and y overlap or are the same. Okay? All right, let's move on to the next one. Okay, so what's the opposite of no solution? All the solutions. Okay, we call that graphing infinitely many solutions. So let's look at that in example 3. We want to graph the solution to y equals negative 1/2 x plus 3 and x plus 2y equals 6. What is that going to look like? I want you to think about that for a second. Okay, now let's go ahead and draw it. Let's see if you're right. Y equals negative 1/2 x. We know this is the slope. So that's going to be down 1 and right 2. And then our y-intercept is 3. So I'll go up to 3, 1, 2, 3. I'll go down 1 and right 2. Okay, and there's my first line. Okay, great. Now, let's look at the next line. X plus 2y equals 6. We've got to turn this into slope-intercept form. We're getting really good at this. 2y equals negative x plus 6. Now we divide everything by 2 to get y by itself. We get y equals negative 1/2 x plus 3. All right, this is a little weird. So negative 1/2, that's the same. Okay, so that means that we've got some parallel lines here. Okay, that's good. But wait, it also has a y-intercept of 3. What does that mean? Well, it means that they're the same line. So if I have two lines that are the same, they go right on top of each other like that. That means every single point on both lines, the infinite amount of points they have, are the possible solutions. So instead of no answer, it's every answer. Every point on these two lines, because they're the same line, are going to be solutions to this system. Okay, so go ahead and finish that part up. You all done? Great job. Let's move on. How do you graph the solution to a system of linear equations? Well, remember, we do two things. First, we graph both the lines, and then we find the point of intersection. And that will give us the answer for both the x and y value for both equations that makes them both true. Okay, it doesn't matter if we're doing horizontal or vertical lines. They also have a solution, which is a little bit easier. You'll notice that the x is just the x value and the y is just the y value. Okay, remember there can be one solution, no solution in the case of parallel lines, and infinitely many solutions if it turns out to be they are both the exact same line. Okay? All right, keep that in your notes. Keep working hard. I appreciate all the work that you've been doing. If you need anything, please let me know. I'm here to help. Right now, I just want to tell you,
excellent work on completing this tutorial. If you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to Mr. Connelly's Math and Mr. Connelly's High School Math channel to get updates on future videos. Thanks for watching.
MrConnally.com